jewelry turn to ashes. Love me till they put me in my casket. I got all these feelings that I'm asking. Can I lay it on you, that's what I'm asking.
Morning, guys. I'm using the S25 Ultra to light myself because it's really dark here and it's raining a lot. Yesterday we landed here by miracle because we almost missed our flight. We actually almost lost our luggages, which made it later onto another flight. I was kind of tripping, I'm not gonna lie. As Jen and I were trying to figure out our trip yesterday, you know, there's always a bit of friction between iPhone and Samsung or any Android phone, really. Like when you're dealing with someone that has an iPhone or an Android phone, like if you want to send them something, you can't really airdrop it. Then you tell them to use local send and they're not used to it, right? So it's like trying to change someone's workflow, which is just doesn't work for the most part. And then yesterday there was a point where Jan was trying to use his old phone because he had to transfer some stuff, but he was also trying to text me at the same time, but he couldn't because he didn't have a SIM card in it. Obviously with iMessage you can text someone as long as you have Wi-Fi, but even if I have RCS he can't text me. Like it won't work like that. So there's all these little things that you kind of have to go through. I don't know if your partner or your friend has an Android phone and you have an iPhone, well, you might struggle a bit. Anyways, listen, I hope I don't get yelled at because we're a tiny bit late because of traffic. Traffic here is insane. We're supposed to be there at 8:15. And now we're going to be at the Porsche Museum by 8:20.
Jan and I traveled the world with the S25 Ultra and the 17 Pro Max. You see, we left Canada to fly all the way to Germany in order to drive a couple of Porsches through Austria and Slovenia, where we had the chance to really put battery life and camera performance to the test. And because our phone habits are so different, we wanted to see which device could actually handle our workflows and daily tasks more effectively. And so that's what we did. I made this video to give you guys a real insight of how it's like to live with either or and to entertain you, so you can maybe subscribe down below so we can keep making these type of videos. Look, at the end of the day, we know the Apple sheeps care about battery and cameras. Yeah, I mean, apparently people seem to be buying the 17 Pro Max simply because of its battery and cameras. Anyways, look, here's how our week went.
Oh, it is so cold, but we're here in Stuttgart at the Porsche Museum and we're about to drive all the way to Slovenia with a couple of Taycans.
Look, I came here with Jan to film for Porsche, so technically you're about to witness the behind the scenes of all of it and how we used our phones to navigate this entire trip. Look, being in a place like this with all the work we had at hand, the thing we cared the most about was cellular reception, cameras, and battery. Think about it, getting special access to these type of places is always really special, so it's extremely important for us to make sure our phones are the least of our worries. The most important thing at that moment specifically was to film and to take a look at all the amazing things Porsche's history has to offer, which we got to see and practically witness.
Of Le Mans 2017.
This is original?
But be careful.
Yeah, no, don't.
And they won it with a 919 hybrid.
Oh yeah, I got to touch and film some of the coolest things ever. I even got to see the first ever Porsche logo that was drawn in 1952 by Frank Xaver Reimpspies. I can't even say his name properly.
Franz Xaver Reimpspies, difficult name, yeah. What was his name again? Say. No, you do. One more time. It's Franz Xaver Reimpspies. He was an engineer working for Porsche since 1932. Yeah.
Oh
wow.
He drew this original, everything?
Yes. So later on, if you are in the museum, yeah, you're going to see this again.
Okay.
But remember, everything which is printed, paper stuff, in a museum is not original.
So as you can see, there was a lot of stuff Jan and I needed to film on top of a lot of information we needed to process, like this argon fire extinguisher system in the archive room.
No, actually, really, there's the argon fire extinguishing system. If a fire occurs, that gas will be pushed in, so the oxygen will be pushed out.
Okay.
Because most damages occur by the water to extinguish the fire, so we try to avoid using water.
Okay.
And this is the reason.
But you have a few seconds.
Yeah, you have like 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
Yeah, and then you have 30 seconds, and then you're.
Yep. Lots of things to keep in mind, especially at the museum where they allocated an entire morning for us. Listen, it's rough with these videos because not only are we shooting for Porsche, but I'm also keeping in mind what I want to shoot with the S25 Ultra and the iPhone. And the one big thing we did in the museum was a first look at comparing the cameras. Mainly because we had all sorts of weird lighting in here.
I think you guys are starting to realize how much work it takes to make these videos. Check this out, okay? Not only am I filming for the S25 Ultra and the iPhone, keeping track of 2 phones, keeping track of Jan, having everything feel natural, right? Not faking anything or anything like that. But I'm also filming a short form for another brand right here in the museum quickly. And I'm also filming for Porsche. And a lot of shots, keeping in mind all the things that people have been telling us, the history of Porsche, while I'm keeping track of our phones, battery life. Jan was going around taking some pictures for you guys to compare, do comparisons and things like that. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work.
The best way to describe the S25 Ultra camera system is that it delivers exquisitely detailed imagery and has very high versatility, which is what you're going to be seeing as the days go. Meanwhile, I think the best way to describe the iPhone 17 Pro Max is that it gives you 3 genuinely fantastic cameras, and I find they are super consistent, but most importantly, iPhone has this very specific shooting style. Very hard to replicate with the S25 Ultra in my opinion. The S25 Ultra does introduce a bit more magenta within the photos on the regular, meanwhile the iPhone leans towards the greens. And you see it a lot in closed-up spaces like studios, rooms, museums, art galleries, and so on. That's just how both phones manipulate tint for the most part. To be fair, I think their white balances are very similar. For the most part, the S25 Ultra, when it needs to, it'll lean towards the blues, and the iPhone more towards the yellows. By the way, Jan took all these pictures because I needed to shoot some B-roll for Porsche all around the museum. I swear, if I would show you everything we do, these videos would be like 5 hours long. It's almost like we need to live stream this because I think it would really grab genuine reactions. Like, for example, my favorite part of the tour was when they let me sit in my ultimate dream car, the CGT.
Unreal. Wow. This is crazy. Just share a bit with you guys. Never sat on this, obviously. Carrera GT. Manual transmission, as it should be. This is unreal. Like what? It's crazy. Just let me sit in here.
If I could paint you 1,000 ways how we used our phones the first day we were there, oh my god, I would. Just to give you an example, I was personally using these even reality glasses with mine, like everywhere I went that day. But anyways, look, eventually we did pick up the cars that were going to be part of this entire trip. I mean, we filmed a few things for the brand. We tried to repack some bags to get some of the equipment we were going to use for production, especially in the cars because it can get quite complicated. Because essentially, Jan and I really just try to get the best possible shots. He does that while I drive, actually.
Driving fast, legally, can't beat that.
Bro, I'm eating ice, bro. Yeah, it's hard to breathe, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, I got to enjoy the Autobahn for the first time. At least the unlimited speeding sections, which was really cool. And for the most part, while my phone was connected to Android Auto, Jan's phone was taking care of his needs, like posting on social media, scrolling through timelines, taking calls. The 17 Pro Max was really just doing that for him. Listen, eventually, you guys will get to see in our Porsche video our entire itinerary, like when we charge the cars, when we stop for a quick bathroom break, how the car drives, but here you get to see how our phones power this whole trip. And on Monday, I actually realized that my phone actually dies way faster than Jan's does. I wanted to blame it on Android Auto, but I don't know. Even an hour later after mine died, Jan still had about 21%, which is when I told myself, okay, let me really focus on battery life here and see what I'm missing. True story.
Honestly, it's so freaking beautiful around here. We are currently day 2, I think. Honestly, didn't do much this morning. Woke up, listened to music, had some breakfast at the hotel. I'm just currently looking for Andres. And there is the guy. Yeah. See, everything here is just so cinematic. The battery life on this thing is actually so crazy. Spent all day yesterday shooting photos at the Porsche Museum, doing a few comparison photos with Andres, and while his phone died, mine just still kept kicking. I was editing photos, I was still taking extra photos. I was actually taking double photos because I wanted to have some raw images that I can edit on Lightroom, I can have on me at all times. You guys always wondered how things look like during shoots. Tripod and a whole lot of going back and forth. Look at that.
Okay. I don't know if you guys see these mountains, but this is probably the craziest thing I've ever seen with the snow. And the car, obviously, and Jan freezing. We're gonna keep going down or up. To be honest, I'm not quite sure where I am, but all I know is that we just crossed the Slovenian border. Listen, like I said, guys, this video is not only to entertain you, but be informative in the way that I want to showcase battery life between these two phones and within our workflows, right? Jan's doing one thing, I'm doing another one. I can't speak because it's so cold. Sorry. Anyways.
Mountain and the castle. The
Yeah,
castle in
the
the background, this is unreal, and the freaking mountain.
It's crazy, huh?
Crazy.
I was just telling them, like, I feel like this video we should focus more on like battery life and cameras. So you have your own battery life workflow, and I have my own battery life workflow. We compare cameras and pictures. Jan's been taking pictures with both phones and stuff. So at least you guys can go out there and pick whether you want an iPhone or you want an S25 Ultra. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, if we're going off battery life alone, yesterday is a testament of itself.
Yeah, he destroyed me. Like, they just destroyed me.
This is one part of the video where I'd like to pass the mic to you guys. Tell me what you think about these, because my eyes see iPhone delivering clean shadows, a bit more contrast, and less sharpened images. Meanwhile, the S25 Ultra has better colors, more details, and looks a bit more true to life. Thoughts? Well, that's on your mind. I feel like y'all need a bit of context here. Monday night, we arrived to a village called Villach, which is a town close to the border of Slovenia. We drove this morning in order to showcase the cars through a couple of passes, one of them being closed due to snow, but the other one open. We had a full itinerary that would allow us to shoot with these cars as we made our way to dinner and our first Slovenian destination, Bohinj. Yeah, I made this little drawing with the Samsung, and I bet your iPhone 17 Pro Max can't do that. But during these trips, we always run into some issues. For the most part, cellular reception is not always the best, technically because we spend a lot of time in the middle of nowhere, and regardless of what phone you use, honestly, nothing will help with that. Jan needed to update the drone using some LTE, and we were having a bit of a hard time doing that. I also needed to hotspot my P16 in order to urgently send an email for some stuff related to the house. We eventually got it figured out. Jan was using the DJI app on his phone. I was using Perplexity to try and understand how we could connect the DJI drone back to the network. Anyways, look, we made it all work, and we were finally live with the drone.
How's your LTE?
2 bars.
And it's downloading?
Yo, update successful.
What?
I was hotspotting from my phone and
And it works fine,
still
bro.
worked.
I don't know, man.
Usually it's the other way around. I feel like our last trip in Naples, we did the same thing. Android versus iPhone, and the Android did a lot better than the iPhone.
What the hell? Okay, for some reason, like my
my cellular Wi-Fi, whatever, wasn't working. Now it works. Now I have 3 bars. John says he has 2, but he was able to do a full update of the drone right now where we are, where there's barely any cellular reception, because obviously I was not experiencing any signal, and now all of a sudden it works. I thought I was onto something here. I thought maybe, okay, the 17 Pro Max is better with reception compared to the S25 Ultra, but nah. Like, I even ran this YouTube timeline loading test, and for the most part, the S25 Ultra loaded content a lot quicker. I'm not trying to preach iPhone here, but I swear a few minutes ago, my cell reception was just not working, and Jan's was working. He was downloading an entire full update from the DJI drone, and he was doing a lot better than me. One thing's for sure, battery life on the S25 Ultra is definitely not as good. While I was at 41%, Jan was at 65%, and he was using his phone quite a lot more than me because, well, I was driving. However, mine was connected to Android Auto all the time, and Jan's phone, well, for the most part, he was taking quite a lot of pictures for himself and editing on Lightroom.
This is the type of stupid things. Yeah, it's so sick.
We arrived to a spa resort with a restaurant close to Bohinj. Beautiful place. Sadly, I had vlogged it, but the audio was quite acting up, but we had a good time. Listen, by 2:45 p.m., my phone was at 1%. Believe it or not. I had a screen time of about 2 hours and 54 minutes, with the main consumption being Google Maps, the camera app, my emailing app, and Android Auto. There were, of course, a few other things I was doing throughout the day, but Jan's phone was still going strong at 48%, with a screen time of 3 hours and 27 minutes, where he was mainly using the camera app, photos, and Spotify, as he was using Jam with me. I'm telling you, I really think my GPS and Android Auto are the main things that drain this phone, because as soon as I'm not using them, it's not this bad. I promise you. I did get a quick full charge though, and then we drove about an hour or so to our hotel. We got to this beautiful resort. I mean, Porsche just really knows how to choose them. By 8 p.m., Jan's phone was finally like dead, with a total screen time of 5 hours and 38 minutes. Like, what? It literally just destroyed the S25 Ultra. I mean, just his camera app consumption was at like 34%. So yeah, I mean, I went to dinner literally disappointed. I was trying to sort footage and get a bit of work in. Anyways, it is what it is. But jet lagged, your boy went to bed at like 2 a.m. to be up the next day at 8 a.m. So while we were testing these two phones all week, like switching between cameras, battery life, everything, I realized something. No matter what phone you use, you always end up with a massive pile of photos, videos, screenshots, and just random files to sort through later. That's where I found this tool called Air that can actually make things easier for you. Like, check this out, okay? I had my P16 with me on this entire trip, so every night after shooting photos, I would just drop everything into Air on the laptop. Jan was airdropping from the 17 Pro Max. I was transferring from the S25 Ultra, and Air just organized everything automatically. What I like is that this isn't just a cloud storage, it's a full creative ops system. And creators like you and I can get it for $20 for the entire year if you use my code Andres. It's actually worth $20 a month, so I guess enjoy. But look, it analyzes all your content, tags it, and makes it searchable. So if I needed all the battery tests, all the night mode shots, or every clip where John and I switched phones, I could just type a word and instantly it would find it. So I didn't need to scroll through giant folders. It also keeps every version stacked, so when John sent a new color grade from his phone, it stayed attached to the original. Approvals, comments, sharing with brands or your editor, all of it happens in one place, and everything syncs between laptop and phone. So think about it, even when we are out shooting, I could pull up Air on the S25 Ultra and double check which clips we still needed. If you work across multiple devices like we did this week, or you bounce between platforms like iPhone and Samsung, having one visual workspace that just keeps everything clean honestly just saves so much time. If you're interested, I'll leave a link down below.
Like in Austria, like länger.
24 kilometers away, right?
Yeah, 15 minutes. The
15?
Napoleon's bridge to the waterfall.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's.
I'm showing you.
You guys look up if there's car washes nearby?
Listen, today we're going to Napoleon Bridge, which is an hour and 50 minutes away from Bohinj. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, 9 a.m. Yes, sir. 95%. Starting a new, fresh day where Jan is probably gonna destroy me with his battery life. Where is Jan?
Leave the car. Not necessary. Now I know too much.
And you can call me names if you call me up. 3 nights at the motel under street lights in the city of palms. Call me what you want when you want if you want. And you can call me names if you call me up. Feel like the least of all your problems. You can't reach me if you wanna stay.
These are definitely one of the most beautiful roads in the world. They have to be, I mean, wow. It looks absolutely insane here. Oh, what are you going? Get the cat! Get the cat! Get the cat!
Say, don't waste a minute, don't wait a minute. It's only a matter of time. Feel to.
Bro, we're going the same. We just saw this woman.
Hi.
Marco, you went back to where we were.
Yes, that's true.
My rep Marco got lost. What a guy. Eventually we made it out though, as we were driving across the mountains. But John and I found a really nice road to get some nice rollers. He did a quick comparison with the iPhone 17 Pro Max and our FX3. I know it's not fair, but when edited, damn, you can barely tell what is what, especially if you post this on social media. And then as we were driving, I was using Perplexity to help me out with some Porsche technicalities I needed to mention and talk about. Sometimes this is what happens behind the scenes during production, especially when I need to explain new technology on the spot. Listen, I realized throughout this trip, as you will see later, that a big reason as to why people choose iPhone over Android is not only the cameras, but the ease of use. iPhone, for the most part, is just so simple, and the design, whether it's hardware or software, also plays a huge role in that, which trickles into the whole status quo thing, because honestly, people don't just buy iPhones because they're nice, they buy them because they're cool. In fact, some people will literally judge you the moment you pull out an Android phone, and it's something that you see a lot in Europe. Yeah, I was kind of like thinking about this whole thing as I was traveling, and it made me eventually want to ask some questions, and you will see that later in this video. But as I arrived to Napoleon Bridge, John and I decided to show you guys how he edits his pictures on the 17 Pro Max.
Alright, so I just want to show you guys how capable these iPhone freaking photos are. I separated the background, selected the sky,
and the car, and I'm still able to have a nice sharp image without the colors really breaking. You even have all these informations here of color that were washed out in the original picture, but I was able to salvage the color and add more actually. Let's add some gradients. Maybe that will help make the road pop just a little bit. And boom, before, after.
After spending some time shooting Napoleon Bridge, and yes, it's said that Napoleon troops marched here years ago, that's why it's called Napoleon Bridge, I needed to take some time to shoot a bit of the car. Meanwhile, Jan was running the drone. I mean, that was the whole point of being here. And by 1 p.m. when we were sort of done, even after that tutorial Jan gave you and some editing he was doing on his end, his iPhone was pushing 59%. Meanwhile, I was at around 56%. I felt like that day I was actually competing. And not only was I trying to post some stuff within our community tab for you guys, but I was also trying to access my Whoop band, which is something that's connected to my phone at all times.
I feel like reception is definitely one thing that you do get to test with these phones when you travel, especially to places like these where you are far away from the city. It's, you know, I don't get to do this while I'm in Montreal, for example, right?
Look at my magenta, bro. What the
Yeah, and your like reflectivity is crap.
Yeah, well, you need a pen to sell the phone.
I feel like Android always has the coolest little features that matters for everyday life. iPhone users are definitely missing out, but I really think their ecosystem plays a major role in keeping them trapped. Like Jan for the most part, no matter where he goes, he's got his AirPods, a MacBook, MagSafe accessories. He uses AirDrop and FaceTime, although not as much anymore. He's trying to detach a bit. I think he sees me trying new laptops and new tech all the time. Like during this trip, for example, I had a P16 that I'm trying to convert into a Linux machine. And I feel like he sees me doing all this stuff and how much fun it can be, so maybe he just wants to be part of that too. But that's because of the nature of our job, right? Because for the average consumer, just this, showing them this shot right here, looks like a total mess, especially when you try to convince them to replace AirDrop by local send. Plus, to be fair, apps are better optimized on iOS compared to Android. Trust me, I lived with a couple of iPhones like a few months ago and they really are.
Can someone explain this to me? Every time they send me like a new location and I click on it, it doesn't really load on Google Maps. Like why? I've been having this issue since I got here. I don't understand why it just doesn't, it won't load it. Load it on yours? John doing too many things at the same time. John, why can't you do this? Yeah, can you load it on Google Maps, the direction they gave us? Because mine won't work. Okay, it works, bro. Me, it doesn't work.
Oh man, I run into small little things sometimes that can be super annoying, but I have a really good workflow going, and for the most part, all the apps I use work like 95% of the time really well. But don't get me wrong, iPhone is sometimes horrible, especially with its unreliable, poorly optimized files manager. I honestly don't know how people deal with it, but that's the thing though. I feel like the average iPhone user just doesn't use it. That day, battery life for me was much better than the day before. It lasted for about 10 hours or so. Of course, Maps, Instagram, and Android Auto being the main battery consumers, and I had 5 hours and 33 minutes of screen time. Meanwhile, Jan was at 25% when I was at 9%. He spent most of his time taking pictures and editing them on Lightroom, really. You guys see the contrast of an iPhone and Android user? Not saying Android users don't love taking pictures, because we do, but we also like to do other technical stuff, like managing our assets through an app like File Manager Plus, which I highly recommend using. Look, even as someone who uses the S25 Ultra, I get why iPhone users hype up the iPhone 17 Pro Max cameras. Everyone I've shown pictures of our trip say, wow, they look so good. Except that I'm using Jan's pictures because he has the most amount of pics. The resolution is super clean, and although they don't look as realistic as the S25 Ultra, people just like the tone it outputs. One thing though that the S25 Ultra does really well, as you might have spotted it, is keeping details even within its blacks and shadows. The iPhone just doesn't do that as well in my opinion. But the iPhone is more of a point and shoot camera system, while the S25 Ultra is more of like a treat me nice and I'll deliver. And I'll talk about video a bit later because Thursday and Friday, we took lots and lots of it.
I don't really feel like I need a sweater, but it does get cold. I'm gonna put a sweater and my jacket just in case.
What do you use?
What do you use your iPhone for the most?
I mean, I guess for taking, I take pictures all the time. I take a lot of pictures. I like that it's so easy to handle.
And you like FaceTime and do you use AirDrop?
Yeah, I use AirDrop a lot. Like all of my friends have iPhones, so we use AirDrop. Like I have a MacBook, I have 2 MacBooks, like one for work, one for private, and I can secure everything that's on my phone on the...
And you like that connectivity, that ecosystem?
Yeah, and it's easy.
Yeah.
It's just everyone can understand how... On the Samsung phone, the touchscreen is so different. I feel like I touch something and all of a sudden something opens and I'm like, I didn't even want that. Like I feel like an old person when I have a Samsung phone in my hand.
I see. Think about my Samsung, Selena.
I think it's not bad. Also, the touchscreen feels much better than the ones I used before.
We're converting.
It's good that you can swipe down and have all the apps, and then you can swipe like that, and you also have all the apps.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which direction you go. I like that. I like it though.
Are you convinced?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna buy one, but I think
So you're not convinced? It's Marco. Because your fingers are too
Big boy.
To what?
That's really cool.
I have nice fingers.
You have lovely fingers, Marco.
I just think also that maybe Apple marketing is just like going so strong that people maybe do not pay attention enough to Samsung, because if they would understand that it's actually easy and a nice phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at this. The quality is horrendous. Oh my god, and my mom's voice memos just keep running on loop because messages is just broken for me. I can't really receive proper videos or, images or anything that people send me. It's just always crap quality. And, but yeah, as I was saying, my texting experience has been kind of crappy.
Like here, reluctant.
So we got stopped at the security. They're like, listen, you can't come in here. So give us 5 to 10 minutes, and meanwhile, we're just taking pictures and stuff. So they were super nice to us.
This is Lake Bled. This is where we got in trouble for taking pictures. But I mean, just look at how insane this place looks. And that castle in the background, like, what? I used the zoom lenses on both phones to take a closer look. This is what it looks like when you digitally zoom into both of these pictures. Samsung is sharper and the iPhone, well, definitely not as much. Again, you'll see here how Samsung and iPhone manage tint and white balance really differently. We did go around Bled though, trying to find more spots to shoot after we got in trouble.
Really cool.
Bled is gorgeous, and what's even crazier is that there was a castle all the way up on a cliff, which we actually got the chance to visit and ate there. Yeah, we ate at a castle. I've never eaten at a castle, like what? And hell yeah, we took quite a bit of photos while we were up there, and videos as well. Took lots of videos. I sent these to my wife while RCS was working. Meanwhile, Jan on his end, he was filming some stuff. After we ate with the crew, it was time for us to head to Villa Fabiani. Look it up. It's actually a gorgeous villa in Slovenia, and it turns out that the owner owns about 20 Porsches. Jan actually was looking into it. He uses ChatGPT a lot. Ever since I convinced him to use some AI in his life, he's been loving it. And then as we were heading there, he was also chatting with the team, taking photos, being the DJ of the car. He uses Spotify, by the way, not Apple Music. Spotify, we love you guys. If you guys are watching this, can you guys please bring us to a Barca game? Anyways, meanwhile, I was doing nothing on my phone. It was simply connected to Android Auto, really. Connected all the way to our destination.
This is the oldest marble tree in Europe.
Whoa.
The oldest marble tree in Europe.
So that building right there is under construction, and he's gonna make it so you have 3 stories to put all his cars and make it a museum. See, like he's literally building in there. It's pretty cool.
This is where we're sleeping.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, you Canadian little boys. You go sleep here.
Brought you some blankets, and you know it's gonna be comfortable in there for you.
I don't think I've ever laughed so much on a work trip. Our reps literally have the same humor as us. It's kind of funny. And of course, we like to joke and have fun with them, but when it's time to work, we work. Look, as much as we were able to take some crazy pictures, when it comes to taking videos with both of these phones, it's a bit of a different experience. At night, the S25 Ultra usually gives you sharper, brighter video with more visible detail in the shadows, so everything looks clearer even in really low light. Meanwhile, the iPhone 17 Pro Max tends to keep colors more natural and balanced, giving night video that smoother, more cinematic vibe as much as it can. I sent a full video to my wife that evening just showing her this other castle where we got invited by the owner of the villa, and honestly the quality is solid, but I've realized with the S25 Ultra at night that video tends to jitter a lot, especially when taking steps, and it kind of shakes the sensor. It's a bit weird. But yeah, going back to my statement on top, I think Samsung for the most part really is more true to life and a bit more sharp, and iPhone tries to deliver that dreamy sort of vibe, but sometimes it can break in different lighting situations.
That was tight. I guess we can say now we're going to Piran.
It took forever to get the car out of a really tight parking spot we had in the villa where I had dropped my phone, and I think that caused my volume button to come off.
Yo, I think this is when I dropped it in the gravel, but my volume button. You guys see this? What the oh my god. Oh, does it even work? Oh, it works.
The right way.
It works. Wow, huh? Maybe that's why I shouldn't rock my phone without a case.
Or maybe that's why you should use the iPhone.
Friday was our last day, and being our last day, I really wanted to focus on shooting the last bits I needed for the cars, especially in Piran, which is a gorgeous town by the water that looked absolutely insane. In fact, it's where we took some portrait pictures with the phones, and really, the S25 Ultra did not keep up with the iPhone. The pictures kind of look smudged on the Samsung, even though the lens were clean. Yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think, but definitely not as good as the iPhone. Listen, now that the S26 Ultra is coming out soon, I do hope it competes a bit more in terms of battery life, because I was averaging about 9 hours or so during the trip with a screen time of like 4 to 5 hours. Jan, on the other hand, he was more like averaging 12 to 14 hours with a screen time of like 5 to 6 really. I mean, that's how the whole trip pretty much went with battery life. My phone dying first, and then using a portable charger to charge it on the road. Classic. I mean, that last day, I needed some juice and the car as well, because we were going from Piran to Salzburg to then take the plane the next day in Munich to come back home. And that was our experience with both phones throughout the trip. Listen, at the end of the day, most people pick the iPhone because they prioritize simplicity, the tight ecosystem, and that point-and-shoot camera reliability. On my end though, I lean towards the S25 Ultra because I care more about functionality and workflow while still having excellent cameras that just behave differently and even give me better zoom when I need it. Meanwhile, Apple users like Jan stick to their Pro iPhones for the same reasons iPhone loyalists always mention online. It just feels effortless and consistent to use. The only one thing I wish as a Galaxy user is a better battery life, because iPhone nailed it, and hopefully that's to be seen within the S26 Ultra.
You got a fast car, I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store, managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far, just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both